Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today called NG 英文. My name is John Drummond or Yang Haoen.
Hello, 大家好，欢迎回到我们西平方的节目 NG 英文，我是 Angela。We
have a great episode for you today with our Polish friend Wojtek, who's known around the Taiwanese community as 邵丰。
是的，今天我们很幸运的邀请到了这位来自波兰的台湾硕士兼模特儿兼演员兼创业家邵丰来 NG 英文跟大家分享他的创业故事，以及一路走来学中文的心路历程。
But before we get to the interview with Wojtek and Angela is going to help us break down some of the cultural differences Wojtek spoke about during the interview, particularly about bothering you and troubling you.And how we can use that in English and Chinese. Yeah. So take it away, Angela, here on NG 英文。
好的，没问题，这样谢谢你的介绍。那没有错，今天呢，我们要来跟各位介绍几种用英文请别人帮忙，但又不失礼貌的说法。请大家赶快把你的 NG cheat sheet 这个 NG 英文专属的笔记小抄准备好，我们要开始咯。在我的访谈中呢，邵丰会提到说他注意到在台湾我们常常会用麻烦这两个字，尤其是要请别人帮忙的时候，几乎都会用这句麻烦你了来表示客气礼貌。但这个麻烦在文化上来讲，这样的用法可能对他们西方人来说比较陌生，好像也没办法去翻译这种麻烦你咯这样的说法。我只能说亚洲人毕竟还是比较客气一点咯。不过这也不是说西方人就没有客气礼貌的表达方式他们当然也是有，不然跟那些王公贵族讲话的时候怎么办，对不对？所以今天我们就来学几个可以传达出我们这种麻烦你咯这种展现客气礼貌的说法。首先英文有两个字就有这样子的意思， trouble 跟 bother。 好， trouble 相信大家都知道，这个字它当名词的时候有麻烦困境的意思，但是作为动词的时候嘞，就跟 bother 一样，有我们这种劳烦麻烦人家的意思，只是呢他们表达的方式不一样，不会说bother you 麻烦你了，没有这样子的翻译，他们会用另外一种表达方式去说明，像是这句 I don't mean to bother you but， 或者是 I don't mean to trouble you but。 好，意思呢就是说我不是要打扰你，不是要麻烦你啦，但是好，有点像是先给人家打个预防针的感觉。我们来个例句练习一下吧。 I don't mean to trouble you， 或是 I don't mean to bother you but I have a question。 我不是要麻烦你啦，但是我有个疑问。好，这边要注意用 bother 通常比较常见，但是 trouble 其实也 OK。 好，那后面的但是 but可以自己视情况而定，看是要改成接什么样的状况，或者另外一种说法大家也可以学起来这个 could you 搭配 please 的句型。好，这个 could 它是 can 的过去式，它同时也可以用来表达婉转的语气，像是 could you please take these upstairs， 或者也可以把 please 放在句尾讲成 could you take these upstairs please， 可以麻烦你把这些带上楼吗？这样子的说法也是很有礼貌的另外我这里还有一个句型也一起分享给大家， I was wondering if you could…… 好，这意思呢就很像我们常在讲的，我在想说不知道你能不能怎么样。好，例如可能你下周要出远门想要找人帮你顾狗狗，就可以说 I was wondering if you could take care of the dog for me next week。我在想说不知道你下周能不能帮我照顾狗狗。讲完这三种说法，不知道大家都还记得吗？我们稍微回顾一下吧。第一个 I don't mean to bother you， 或者是 I don't mean to trouble you but OK。 好，第二个 Could you 搭配 please， Could you take these upstairs please， 可以麻烦你把这些带上楼吗？最后 I was wondering if you could……我在想说你不知道能不能怎么样，后面加上你希望人家帮忙的事情。那这样子大家有了解了吗？希望刚才讲到这些对你的英文学习之路有所帮助。如果有漏掉没有听到或是写下来的也不用担心，可以上我们的 Spotify 或是 YouTube 频道，随时要听几次就给它听几次。有什么问题也欢迎在底下留言让我们知道那如果大家都已经准备好了的话， 我们就赶快进入今天的访谈内容，听听邵丰的分享吧。
All right. As always, thank you, Miss Angela Ma, for that wonderful NG Ingwen breakdown. My guest today is a Polish entrepreneur, model, entertainer, public speaking coach, teacher, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome my good friend, Wojtek.
Hi guys, welcome.
Into the void technology.
Wojtek.
Yeah.
Good job, mate.
Nice, man. Well, welcome to NG Ingwen, my dude. I want to get right into it. You are a man of many talents, and you just finished your master's degree. You are a model and an actor. You are a public speaker, and now you're an entrepreneur. So I want to start with your life in entertainment. Why did you begin kind of that journey with entertainment?
访谈一开始呢，我们要来问问邵丰，他当初是为什么会进入娱乐圈嘞？ Why did he begin his journey with entertainment? 原来啊，因为邵丰本身就是比较喜欢跟人接触型的。那大家也知道，刚搬去另外一个国家的时候呢，身为一个外来者，外国人难免都会有一些孤单寂寞蓝瘦香菇。所以对于平常就喜欢跟人互动的邵丰来讲，更是 lonely， 更是孤单哦。不过幸好啊，就有个朋友开始介绍他去参加一些活动，认识新朋友，拓展社交圈。有次因缘机会下呢，还跟某位知名女演员聊到天呢。更幸运的是啊，对方发现邵丰的中文讲得很不错，就引荐他上一个我们的电视节目，而这也就是他演艺生涯的开始。赶快来听听邵丰的分享吧。
So the thing is that I really enjoy spending time with some people. And after coming back to Taiwan, I just realized that I might be a little bit lonely. And that's a thing for a lot of foreigners here in Taiwan. And a friend of mine introduced me to the event scene. I started going out with friends, going to the bars, going to the modeling events. And one time, I met a really famous actress. And after a quick chit-chat, she just realized my Chinese is pretty good and asked me if I've ever taken part in a TV show in Taiwan, especially with my Chinese. And I was like, no, but I would love to try. And what do you know? Her manager took over, and after a week, she introduced me to a TV company. And 2 weeks later, I started my first recording for WTO姊妹会. And after that, that was already a year ago. And until now, I've already recorded 25 episodes, all in Chinese.
Yeah, man. 25 episodes on that show, all in Chinese. And we'll talk a little bit about your language journey later, but I mean, first of all, congratulations, because I know you came to Taiwan with no Chinese, and that has all been something you've been working really hard on. So that is an incredible talent, and I'm so happy for you, and hopefully that's opened up some new doors for you. I know public speaking is a big part of your life, and now kind of starting your own brand and company. So what has your kind of public speaking life been like, and your coaching life been like here in Taiwan?
前面我们讲到说邵丰身兼多职，是位跨界工作人，又是创业家，又是演员模特儿。但是各位听众朋友，你们知道吗？他其实啊，在公众演说这一块也很拿手哦。所以接下来我们要请他跟大家聊聊他在台湾做公众演说的分享。邵丰说啊，他本身对教学一直都很有兴趣，不管是教德文、商用英文、数据统计资料，还是数学等等，他都可以教哦。那当我们在教学的时候啊，其实很大一部分很重要的一点是要有这个在很多人面前说话表达自己的能力，也就是所谓的 public speaking skills 公众演说技巧能力。那这种技能对于已经有8年教学经验的邵丰来讲，根本就是已经很得心应手。有一次啊，他还在板桥警察局当波利士大人他们的演讲教练，教他们用英文在镜头前面自我表达，帮他们练习在做公开说明的时候一些必备的技巧。
So I don't consider it my career, but a big hobby of mine is teaching. And I'm only 25 years old, but I have 8 years of experience in teaching. And since I'm like 16 years old, I've been teaching English, business English, German, math, statistics. And the biggest part of my teaching experience is public speaking, which I really do enjoy. And that's one of the reasons we're meeting here as well, because I would love to share some experience with you guys. And I've had a couple of great opportunities here in Taiwan. Last year, I had a great opportunity to teach public speaking to police officers in Banqiao and to tell them how to work with camera, how to answer difficult questions, or how to speak about difficult topics. Because as a police officer, sometimes you must talk about very difficult stuff, especially when it's death-related or if there's a flood, earthquake, any dangerous situation. You need to know how to talk about it.
Yeah, man, that is very impressive and so true. Working with difficult situations and how to speak in front of a camera is a talent really that you have to develop and a skill that you have to develop over the years. So I'm really happy that you've kind of begun that coaching process for 8 years now. Is that what you're saying? 8 years?
Yeah, that's true.
Nice, man. And now continuing it here in Taiwan as you get to work now with tons of different companies and businesses and professions as police officers, like you just said. So very, very cool. Right now, I've noticed you've been focusing a lot on building your own company here in Taiwan. So can you share about that process with us?
大家还记得刚才有稍微提到说我们这位来自波兰的邵丰其实也是位创业家吗？他前阵子成立了一间黄金首饰专卖店，叫做 La Rosa Gold， 专门卖 24K 纯金项链、戒指等等的首饰。但是他一个外国人怎么会突然想要在台湾卖黄金嘞？而且他上哪去找黄金？要跟谁买黄金啊？好，来不及，我们一一来为您解惑。邵丰说呢，去年年底的时候，他因为注意到台湾有不少卖黄金首饰的银楼，但是他们卖的首饰风格都比较不符合年轻一代族群的喜好，才会注意到这个市场，想说他可以从这个点去切入，自己去开一间店卖比较流行时尚的黄金首饰。只是没想到今年因为肺炎疫情的关系，生意就没有预期的好。那待会呢，John在最后会提到2个我们曾经在节目上学过的单字，这边再跟大家复习一下。Fluid 跟 flexible， 好，这2个呢，他们用在计划或是情况的时候都有不固定、容易变动或是弹性的意思哦。像是今年这肺炎就是各个计划都 fluid 不固定的最佳代表。话不多说，我们赶快来听这段内容吧。
So right now, I started a company called La Rosa Gold, and we're focusing on selling high quality 24K pure gold jewelry. The journey started in the end of 2019 in November when I realized there is a market opportunity. And there are just a lot of very old shops that they're selling gold, but younger generation would never go to an old shop like this to get any jewelry. Not to mention the style of the products is just not up to date to our standards. And it's been good, but as everyone knows, in the era of COVID-19, the sales are not as good as I expected, and it definitely influenced the business.
Yeah, man. And that's been tough. And, I think this is really showing a lot of transitional work that a lot of companies are having to go through to kind of be fluid, I guess I should say, to be, flexible with how they sell their products, being an online shop, but also now having a studio that you guys have I think it works both ways. So luckily we are in Taiwan, but I know people still are a little hesitant on spending. Well, I wish you nothing but success with that. And it really makes me curious, like, what's the process? How do you go about getting gold in Taiwan? I have no idea.
紧接着我们要来跟各位说明这位来自波兰的外国人是怎么有办法跟台湾在地黄金供应商合作的。邵丰说最大的问题是要跟那些供应商还有这个黄金工匠沟通，让他们相信说是可以信任他，可以跟他合作的。因为说实在的，突然要这些在台湾黄金产业打滚多年的生意人让一个外国人进入他们的圈子跟他们合作，真的也是难免会抱持着一个怀疑的态度。加上大部分是南部人都讲台语，还讲这个商用台语哦，邵丰一个字都听不懂，都听不，是要怎么样进入他们的圈圈，这样整件事就是难上加难。不过幸好呢，刚好有一些供应商有看过他上电视节目，可能就觉得说这位是明星哦，可以跟明星合作是值得信任之类的，才终于让邵丰顺利进入台湾的黄金产业。这边几个字跟各位介绍一下，第一个是等等一开始邵丰会讲到的 supplier， 也就是供应商 supplier， 还有这个 goldsmith 是金匠、黄金工匠。好，那另外这个片语大家也可以学起来哦， go about 它有从事或是做某件事的意思，常常后面会搭配动词加 ing。像 John 问的这句 How do you go about getting gold in Taiwan? 就是这样子的用法，意思就是说你是要怎么样在台湾找黄金啊？赶快来听这段分享吧。
Believe me, I wish it was easy to explain. The biggest problem is talking to your suppliers and the goldsmiths, because everyone in Taiwan in this business it's an old trade, and most of the suppliers are very skeptical about letting a foreigner into the business. Not to mention that most of them are from the south, and even if they live in Taipei, they mostly speak Taiwanese. And believe me, I'm proud of myself for speaking Chinese. But I cannot understand a word in Taiwanese, not to mention talking about business. But the cool part about it is that some of them actually saw me on TV, so they're a little bit more open-minded about me because they feel like I'm like a little superstar, I suppose. And that gave me this little window of opportunity to start talking to them like, oh, like I've been on this and this. And like, oh, really? Yada, yada, yada. An hour later, and we start talking business. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, man, I love that, and that's kind of this unique thing, we talk about language and how many doors it can open on this show all the time, and your language abilities allowed you to be on a TV show, which now gives you some credibility with the older generations, and they're like, oh, he's been on TV? All right, maybe we can do business with him.
That's right.
I love that, man, and yeah, I think that's been a great starting point for you. So I know you speak, I believe, 5 languages fluently now, which is so impressive. But thinking about your journey in Taiwan, what kind of inspired you to now pick up and continue to work on Mandarin Chinese?
接下来邵峰要跟大家聊聊他学中文的经验。他说可能本身就是一个心胸宽阔、比较开放、可以接受新事物的个性，常常呢都喜欢去做一些不一样的事情。所以在得知可以在台湾念硕士的消息之后，就决定要学中文。毕竟要去另外一个国家，如果当地语言都不通，那也不好。加上当时他只会4国语言，想说如果他可以把中文学好，那他就会讲5种语言了。所以呢，就把这学中文当成是一项挑战，卯起来学，到现在已经 leveled up， 已经升级，可以上中文电视节目了。邵峰真的是很厉害，佩服佩服。
So, as you know, I really love traveling, and because of that, I'm also kind of an open-minded person. I always wanted to do something differently, and once I found the Master's Studies program here in Taiwan, I was like, it would make absolutely no sense to come to a country and not speak a word of the language. And back then, 3 years ago, I could already speak 4 languages fluently, and I just realized that it could be a great challenge for me to learn something completely different.
Challenge accepted, and you leveled up to 5 languages. Kind of thinking then further about that, can you share any tips and advice with our listeners? What really helped you push your Mandarin when you came here?
在这段访谈中呢，我们要请邵峰跟大家分享一些他学语言的小技巧、小撇步。就跟其他很多来宾讲的一样，邵峰同样也是提到了我们学语言那个环境真的很重要哦，要把自己暴露在那个语言当中，无止境的去听去吸收。像他个人呢，就是主要以听歌的方式去学，从各大音乐平台像是 Spotify 或是 YouTube 等等，去听各种不同的中文歌，直到他听到一首喜欢的旋律之后，就开始去找歌词、读歌词，从中去学新的字、新的用法。我觉得他这就很像我们在学校读课文有没有？然后要从可能自己根本就没有兴趣的课文里面去学新句型、新单字。但邵峰呢，他就从歌词、从音乐下手，但因为又是自己喜欢的歌，让整个学习过程变得有趣许多。加上每天在这个环境里面听中文，强迫自己去实际练习听到的字。虽然一开始可能会有点吃力，有点气馁，觉得说怎么好像都学不会、听不懂，但久而久之就会学起来了。
So after mastering 5 languages already, I could tell you with certainty that the most important part about learning a language is called exposure. That is one thing that all the people online are talking about, and they're actually right. The first thing that I did when I started studying Chinese is looking up a lot of songs. I went on YouTube, I went on Spotify, and I was just listening to random playlists in Chinese. And once I really liked the tune, I would look up the lyrics. I would start studying the characters. And obviously, it is impossible to understand everything. And especially in the beginning, when you don't really know much of a language, it is quite difficult. But once you start listening to a language on a daily basis and starting to use the words you've heard before, that's exactly how it starts getting easier and easier.
Yeah, man, and I love that. And like you're saying, that exposure. And I think really, finding the fact that you're listening to Mandarin songs is so beautiful too, because you're really kind of feeling the heart and soul of a culture when you begin to listen to their music and you feel the way they express themselves. And, lyrics are so much like poetry to me. And so I love listening to Mandarin songs like that and just being like, this is a whole different world. I love it. You really need to understand the culture, and that comes so much from the entertainment side, music, movies, political figures, blah, blah, blah. But it's all, it's such a cultural reference that people speak about. So that leads me to a question I love to ask on the show. And it's, do you remember any kind of cultural differences or translation issues that you've had here in Taiwan with either English or Mandarin?
听完了前面邵丰他学中文的经验分享之后，现在他要来跟我们讲个让他很头大的中文用法，到底是什么呢？那就是麻烦。那不知道大家是不是跟我一样，平常在用这个字的时候都不太会去多想它的词性用法什么的，毕竟是我们的母语，每天都在讲，但是对于外国人来说却是常常会让人搞不清楚。因为就像他等等会讲到的，麻烦可以当形容词用，讲说某个人或某件事情很麻烦，但是它同时也可以当动词来用，像是邀请别人帮忙的时候，常常都会补一句麻烦你了，表示不好意思要劳烦人家帮你做什么什么的。但是就像主持人这样讲到的，通常在英文里面就比较常是会用一个字 please 来表示礼貌，或者呢就像前面在NG英文里面提到的，用 could you 开头搭配 please 的句型，也同样可以展现出你礼貌的态度哦。
So the main difficulty with Chinese is that it cannot really be translated directly into English, and the other way around as well. So there's this one thing that bothered me at the very beginning, because it has two different meanings depending how you say it. So the first one, 你很麻烦, and the second one is 不好意思麻烦你了. And the difference is that the first one is actually you being troublesome. You make someone very uncomfortable with whatever you're doing. Like you're being a pain in the butt.
好麻烦啦，
Yes.
你好烦
Yeah, exactly. 好烦欸. The other one is like 不好意思麻烦你了，请麻烦你了, whatever. So it's a very polite way of asking someone to do you a favor or help you out, but in a cultural way. And I feel like it's completely different in English, because 麻烦你了, it's related to Taiwanese culture. We would never say that in English. Yeah, you can't even say that in English. There's no word for that. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I think that's a great cultural kind of story here. And yeah, 不好意思麻烦你了. It's like they're being kind of polite and softening the way that they're talking to you, but
definitely.
But they still want you to complete that task.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, hey, I need you to finish this, but like I'm going to try to say it with a please or I know it's so troublesome, but still do it. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice story there, my man. All right, dude. Well, that is bringing us to our last question here on NG Ingwen, and that is, if you could go back in time and talk to a younger Wojtek, would there be any advice you give yourself on language or life?
访谈进行到最后，我们一样要来问问邵丰，有没有什么话会想要跟以前的自己说呢？他提到在这个世界上有太多不真心，有太多虚假的人了，真的要慎选朋友，不用花太多心思、太多时间在那些你根本就不喜欢的人身上。像他以前就是这样子，后来因为一段时间之后，发现那些他曾经以为的朋友根本就没有在意他，不把他当一回事。所以呢，如果可以给从前的邵丰一些人生建议，会希望他交朋友要交一些真心，把他当家人看待的朋友，但相对的也要用同样的方式对待人家。那在最后，大家要听到一个片语也可以学起来哦， stick to 什么什么什么，它在这里有忠于某人某事物的意思，像 John 讲的这句Stick to the people that feel like family. 它表达的呢，就是要忠于那些真心待你的人。
Life, definitely. I feel like there is so many fake people in life that if I had to give myself an advice, I would just tell myself, don't stick to people that you don't really like or enjoy being around. Because after a couple of years, you just realize there's a lot of people that I thought they were friends, but when I needed them, or like I figured I might talk to them, they were just not really interested, and they were talking stuff about my back that I really didn't like. And back then I would spend a lot of time overthinking, like, who is my friend and who is not. Just stick to friends, and if someone is treating you like family, treat them like family as well, and just don't bother wasting time on people that they're not worth your time.
Yeah, man, that is some good advice right there. Stick to the people that feel like family. And yeah, man, I think that's a very relatable thing. This concept of fake people is a tough one that we all go through with and deal with in life. And I hope you're learning kind of where to find your flow with that. And I wish you nothing but success in life and business and your future work here. So where can people kind of find more about your life, or where can they find you online or La Rosa Gold online?
So when it comes to my company, we're primarily using Instagram and our website. So on Instagram, you can find us at La Rosa Gold, and our website is exactly the same. So it's www.larosagold.com. And my personal IG is Wojtek, which is also a nickname in Polish. It's WOJTOSHSOHCHO. Even spelling it in English is not easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe give him your Chinese name. That might be easier.
邵豐.
Yeah,邵豐. Very nice. All right, my brother. Well, thank you again for joining us today on NG Ingwen, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
All right, everyone. Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG, NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7, and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.
好，那我们今天西平方的节目 NG 英文就到这边告一段落啦。感谢大家的收听，别忘了到 IG 搜寻我们的粉丝专页 NG English 再底线 ICRT。大家也要记得每周三早上6点半到7点，或是晚上9点到9点半，把广播调到 ICRT FM 100，准时收听我们节目哦。那也欢迎各位上网搜寻西平方的攻其不备课程，或者呢是到我们西平方的官网多读一些有关 NG 英文的文章，看看有哪些是可以吸收学起来的小撇步哦。我们下周见了，拜拜。